guess what? We sat up here and did our first video, and then the people don't even know who we are.
You know, I could just sit up here and just look at you.
This guy here, y'all. This guy here, he's something else.
But yes, I think that's we need to give some history, because we're up here making these videos about marriage and why people don't want to do it, and we got
And y'all don't even
tons
know who we
of
are.
content coming.
Well, some people do.
But
for the
yes, we
world to
do
know.
need to introduce ourselves. So I am Mr. Taylor of TaylorMade.
Okay, I'm Mrs. Taylor. He's Daniel Taylor. I'm Brittany Taylor.
What's your last name?
Taylor.
Huh?
Taylor. He's
Okay.
something else.
Yeah, I do. Well, that's a whole nother conversation, but I do appreciate you value the Taylor name.
Yes.
We can talk more about that
I
later,
wear
but
proudly.
that is.
He like to hear that, y'all.
Yes, I do, and that's at the top of the list. Proud to be a Taylor. You got to be proud to be a Taylor. If you're gonna be a Taylor, you got to be proud.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but okay.
So let's take the people
me
all the
focus.
way back. Yeah, focus.
You made me look that way so I can focus.
No, I can't look outside of the camera.
Okay, but no, yes, we need to give some history. My question would be, how far back do you
We're gonna go all the way back, 2006. Yeah,
we're going back 20
we gotta
years.
Take them back. That's when we met. My
20
college
years?
days. Yes.
Oh Lord.
Almost 20 years ago.
Oh,
yeah,
Lord.
20 years ago.
Oh Lord. Okay.
So we gotta take them all the way back. Has been 20 years ago since we met.
So with our story, I have my perspective, right? The story.
Yeah.
You have your perspective.
So we'll give mixed perspectives. But I'm gonna start off with me. I'll start off. So first met Daniel, I believe, in January.
At a university.
Yes, at a university. Everybody know where we're from anyway. So, but met him, saw him at an event, and the first thing that drew me to him was I was attracted to him. He's looking really, really good. And so I was like, I don't know, something about him when I saw you, it captivated me. Like when I saw you, I was like, I don't know, it's just something about you. And I know that sounds very fairy tale, very far-fetched, and you've heard this before, but it's something about you. So anyway, leaving the event, I asked my cousin, I had to go through describing how you looked, who you were, who was the guy, and so she was like, who? Daniel? Daniel. So I said, yes. I believe she just gave me your first name. And so based on what others knew about you, excuse me, and what she knew about you, I believe y'all took a summer class together, but I believe it's other females that knew about you. She was basically talking about how you had your head on straight, how in class that you would talk about, you bring up concepts of God, or you would talk about God to certain people. So I was like, talk about God. Wow, he loved God like that. So I always wanted, if I wanted to get serious with someone or settle down or get married, it had to be somebody that had a love for God. So, I mean, besides your other good qualities, because you can meet people with good qualities, but somebody that, a young guy that just talks about God. And then I don't really know your age, but I mean, we were in college, so, you're on the college campus, so I knew you could be that old. And I was like, I said, man, with all the things that you are describing, I said, man, he fits. He checks off just about all my boxes. And I was like, that's going to be my husband one day. And she's like, girl, hush up, please. So she's just laughing. And I'm kind of offended because I'm like, I'm serious.
Okay, so you saw me at one event, talk to your cousin, and you come to the conclusion that you're going to marry this person.
Yes. I'm the type of person I knew what I wanted. And when I know what I want, I know what I want. And that was you. Well, based on what she described at that time. And it gets better after that because you added to that list of qualities.
You had great faith or you was foolish.
No, I wasn't foolish. I wasn't desperate. So I believe for me to be foolish, I had to be desperate. I know what I wanted. And that was you.
I can't say that.
That was you.
You had bad taste. In reference to me, I can say that.
Yes, in reference to you, sweetheart. Yes. And so, anyway, fast forward. So I'm like, I cannot wait another day. I gotta figure out who this guy is because, so anyway, went back to my dorm room. I believe we had MySpace. I think I had just joined Facebook to figure out, but you wasn't on there. That's why I couldn't find them. So I was like, dang, you. I was like, and I called my cousin like, maybe you got the name wrong. What is it? She was like, girl, it's Daniel. I was like, no. I'm looking up Donald, David, almost every name that starts with the D. I'm trying to find him. And he was not on there. So I got frustrated and I was like, you know what? I knew that when I couldn't do anything to put it in the hands of God. So I knew God based off of my limitations at that time. I knew that I could pray to God and God will answer me. So God dealt with me according to the limitations that I had at that moment. But I saw how faith works, according to my faith being so. Because I said, God, if it's meant for me to see this Daniel again, or whatever I thought your name was, this man, or whatever, because I said, God, and I want to. Okay.
I just interject right there, because that story sounds interesting, to say the least.
Oh my God.
But in hindsight, and we've talked about this before, when we met or where we met, we was at a place, a eating place on campus. This was a place that had good food. I had their wings and loved their wings, but out of the entire time that I was actually at the university, I think I may have went there at the most 5 times. And I'm talking about all 4 or 5 years. But at that particular moment, I had only been in there once. And I think the entire time that I was ever at the university, I only went there one time by myself. Wow. Like even to this day, like why was I there? I may have got some of the wings. I'm pretty sure. I think I was studying. I'm sure. But even then, like my normal study place was the library. Like I want to say it's like the 4th floor. Like that was I had a little cubicle. I would always be there. But for some reason.
That prayer. I think it was a prayer. It's like it was a God ordained setup, even through our ignorances, I believe. And we'll get into that more through other videos.
Yes, because our story is not
everybody's story.
Ideal,
right? It's not ideal.
But it is our story. And that's one thing that I can't deny, especially 20 years later. I think about who you are. I think about who you are to me, how special you are. I seen some characteristics then, but since we're talking about what we came from, 20 years later, it could have been some things that we could have did better, but for you to say that you prayed and God answered that prayer, it was definitely a God thing.
And like I said, this was in the confines of our limitations and what we knew at that time. So anyway, we'll get to that. But let's get back to. So I prayed, and we were at the campus in the set eating, and I was with my cousin's friend. He was one of the basketball players, and we was just chatting it up. We were the last ones, I believe, in there. It was empty by that time, and so I'm walking out and I'm looking and I'm peeking, but I noticed the back of Daniel's head. I noticed the back of his head. So, and you heard the story before, so I'm looking at the shape.
Had them waves. Well, it's kind of. Back then I had them waves.
Oh no, I like this little chocolate, my little chocolate round ball right there. Yeah, all that. So yeah, anyway, that's another story for another day on how I was scared when he got his haircut, but love the head now. So yeah, he did have some good waves. Then so I'm noticing the waves, like you said, and just looking at the back of his head, and I was like, oh my God, I prayed like this was the next day, y'all. And I'm like, that's him. And so I told the guy, my cousin friend, I was like, bye. I was like, no. He was like, man, I gotta make sure you get back to your. I told your cousin I was gonna make sure you get back to your dorm room safe. I was like, no. I was like, I'll be fine. You know, I'll let her know because I was a freshman then, so my cousin knew a lot of people anyway. So they watched out for me, kind of protective over me. And so having
prayed.
Yes.
And the next day.
The next day. Be something.
Well, because
the next day.
Not to say that you forget your prayer. Gosh, he made sure that you didn't.
He showed me.
He
answered prayers,
so you wouldn't forget.
Yes,
that this is not just a coincidence.
It wasn't a coincidence. Like, it was crazy, and it's like how I recognize his features. I'm not good with names, but I'm looking at features, and I'm like, that's him. And he was like, you know, my friend I was with was like, him who? And so I was like, go, you gotta go back to your room. Because I don't want him to think that we together. I want to talk to him alone. I was so nervous. I was shaking. I remember I approached you. And I was telling.
Yeah, so I guess I'm sure we made small talk. Hello, how are you? My name's such and such.
Yeah.
Now, I remember you mentioned your cousin, I want to say. And she may have told you some things about me. But one of the main things that I remember from that conversation that you apparently got from your cousin, she told you, and that got your attention, that I was into God. And so, at that particular moment, okay, young lady comes up, and I can expound upon this a little more, but young lady comes up, young lady looks nice, started making small talk, and then into God. So the fact that you mentioned that to me, that caught my attention, because that's not something that people would typically talk about, especially in a first interaction with someone. So that caught my attention. And even to the extent to where, because at that time I would do a lot of journaling. I would write down whether it's something I was studying. I would spend a lot of time in Proverbs and watch different ministers, and me and my dad would have conversation. But saying all that to say, we do a lot of journaling. So I was made, I was sure to put this in the journal, right? So, and I remember, met young lady today.
Who's a young lady? Me. Okay.
Met this young lady, Brittany, and man, yeah. So, because I had that journal for years, so I remember, and I'm the type, I kind of have like a photographic memory or whatever, so I can like literally remember the pages on the journal. But met this young lady, Brittany. She said that she knew that I was into God, or what I remember writing is that into God stuff, to God stuff. I'm like, as I'm writing, because many times when you write, you kind of reflect. I said, why should you say God stuff? Like, no, it's more than that. Like, God should be our everything. Like, and so I can't remember specifically, but as I would write, I would expound. So I would vaguely remember writing into God. No, I'm into life. I'm into, going to heaven. I know I beautified it, or I have, but we ended up talking later on that night. And so that was a.
And then the first thing, let me go back to I asked because I didn't want to exchange numbers. So that just made me even smile walking back to my dorm room. I asked if you had a girlfriend. So that was, yay. I was happy to know that because I wasn't going to intrude upon that if you had a girlfriend. Let me put that disclaimer in there, yeah. So,
yes.
Did we talk on the phone? That wasn't that night?
We did. I want to, from what I can recall.
Y'all, this 20 years ago.
I want to say
it was
that night when I can remember. Because I know I was working at the time.
So we stayed on the phone for a long. That was a good comment. That was like one of the best conversations I ever had.
Whenever we talk about this, throughout the years. I want to say we would always say that we talked that night, but for sure we always remembered that we stayed on the phone for hours, right? So
like 3 or 4 hours.
yeah,
It was a
hours,
long time.
just talking about what our aspirations were.
Yeah.
So what do you want to be? Because we're in college. What are your major? What are your plans? Talked about church, growing up in church,
how we grew up. I think we talked about family a little bit. How we grew up.
I'm sure we did. What? So one of the things that I remember, because I can't remember everything per se, but just certain things kind of stand out to me. So, and I get to the point that I made earlier
a lot of questions.
Seeing you, because I remember seeing you that day, but not to a great extent. But the God statement, journaling, and then I just remember talking, and it was like we connected in reference to God, talking about God, and like really seeing ourselves ministering, like having a heart to not only just be in church but serving, like in some capacity. Like those are one of the things that I remember from that conversation that really stuck to me, because it was in my mind how we equated at that time, like we really connected, like, and we seen ourselves going in the same direction.
Right, more so him. I don't remember me talking about being a minister at the time.
Well, maybe not minister, but I think
maybe because of our qualities.
Well,
helping people.
I'm seeing that.
Like that.
So maybe I may have mentioned myself. I can see myself being a minister, being a pastor, for sure, being in a position to where I want to be able to have a career, still be able to minister, but not necessarily have to receive a check from the church. Like in my mind, I remember. I know you look like what in the world, but I remember us talking about that, and maybe not you minister per se, but being a minister's wife or a pastor's wife. I remember
I'd probably serving in the church. I never said I wanted to be a pastor's wife, but that's a story for another day. End up being a pastor's wife.
But I think
I don't know.
I may have mentioned some of these things, and I think we kind of connect to it. Right. But just moving forward, so beyond that, like I said, when I first met you, kind of remember, but when we went to a Chinese restaurant, and that day, for sure, it was like, I remember.
Right. Well, taking it a step back. So our first date or outing was at the church. He invited me to his church.
Yeah, but I think we went to the restaurant first.
No. We went to, because I remember the choir came in doing a procession of glory. Hallelujah. This is what we come to do. Yeah. Oh. So we went to, you wanted to take me out to eat. It was a Sunday. But you said, hey, would you mind coming to church with me? And I was just, y'all, I was like, man, this boy ain't scared to ask me to go to church with him. Like, that just, for me, it was a turn on. I don't know why. It was just like, yeah, he had my heart then. So I was really excited to go to church.
I remember we went to church.
And then we went out to eat afterwards. Because I had on the same outfit.
I do remember being in church. I do remember you coming in. I remember you sitting by me. So, for whatever reason, my memory of being at the restaurant and seeing you walk in, that's a memory that is just one of those things that I just have never forgotten. So, even to the extent, remember what you had on, brown dress, skirt, brown skirt, cream top, and I can't remember the earring specifically, but it wasn't like a stud or whatever. It was something that was kind of dangling, kind of like had like a necklace or some sort on. I had a bracelet on. I don't know if the bracelet and the necklace matched, but I do remember seeing that. Shoes, open toes, like sandals. So it was like, and your perspective is, that's gonna be my husband. That didn't come to my mind. That was gonna be my wife. But it did not come to my mind. But
tell the truth.
But that day, it was like, wow. I don't this is somebody special. This is that moment for sure. It's like I don't know how to say it, it's like a connection, like in my heart. Like this is somebody special. Like
Love
that's
at first sight.
was the first sight. It wasn't the first sight.
Second sight, third sight.
But for sure, it was like from that, and I believe that's why I remember it, because it was like a connection from that moment. So just moving on from there, as far as us really becoming serious, if you will.
I think you went on a trip with your family.
Yeah, we did.
Y'all went away, and then you said, I want us to write a poem. Yeah. You said I wanted us to write a poem to each other. And so I was like, Lord, I don't think that I was as poetic. Let me tell you, him right here, this boy is a writer. I'm talking about through our whole relationship. We have more responsibilities, kids and stuff like that now, but he still makes sure that he texts me and send me little cute little sayings. But I remember that during our whole relationship, I kept a little journal.
Okay, so going back to the poem, we wrote it to one another when I came back from out of town. Mine concluded with asking you to be my girlfriend, which we can do a whole nother segment about that and our take on boyfriend, girlfriend, because that's not something we would agree with totally today.
Right.
But that's a whole nother conversation. But the thought process concerning that was just knowing, this person is special. Bubbly personality, I would say, pizzazz, the level of commitment that she had displayed towards me, like would vocalize it to myself, others, like it was very, very apparent that you were into me. And so that was something for sure, at least at that moment. This is something that we can build upon. So that definitely hindered any hesitation with being able to say, okay, hey, this is a person at this particular moment that I'm committed to.
Okay, so I guess you want me to expound on why I married you? Is that where you're going at? Or why I decided to make the decision?
We're doing it in phases. So this is just getting serious.
Okay, so
we met, we're interested.
Right.
Okay, well, let's be a little more committed to one another.
Okay, so is it the boyfriend girlfriend stage, or we talking about? Okay, so I guess it wasn't hard to go to that next stage for me because
I can imagine. What you said day one, I'm married.
Yeah, so it was already, rather apparent. So at the boyfriend girlfriend stage, I guess getting more serious. When I met you, I knew that I wasn't looking for anything casual, and so you already didn't have a girlfriend at the time, so it wasn't hard for me, especially after we talked. I got to know so much from you, from talking on the phone with you just 3 to 4 hours. Of course, I did observe those things, a lot of things in what you said, to make sure that you wasn't just telling me a wolf ticket. In other words, like it was real, it was authentic. What I was seeing wasn't something he wasn't playing game, or something that he was just talking about, like I've been doing times past. But I would say I kind of already knew that, but it was more so apparent and proven and becoming more serious. Like I said, when I started to check off other things on my list, observing you, observing your characteristics, with certain things that you would do, writing me every day, being attentive. Those were the things that I know I needed in a serious relationship and a potential spouse, a future spouse. those characteristics. I remember, you would check on me all throughout the day. I knew that you worked at the time. You would write me little sweet sayings, just strong, profound sayings, just about us and our love towards one another, certain visions that you had even concerning us. And I was like, wow. So I was like, okay, this is pretty serious.
Okay, so that's becoming serious. And then marriage. So that's a very serious thing to do at 20.
Well,
20
yeah.
years old.
I mean, from your perspective, for me,
20 years old, that is something serious.
well, it is serious, but for me, like I said, I was very mature at a young age. I wouldn't call myself a fast girl, but I don't know. I think I don't want to speak for most girls, but every girl dreams of getting married one day. So some women are, I don't know, or maybe different. They may want to wait till they're 30 or whatever like that, but I was more of a traditional kind of individual. I guess that's how my mindset was. So I always thought about getting married, having kids, being a good wife, being a good mother. Besides having a career, that was a goal for me, I guess you could say. So that wasn't something for me. I can't speak for you. But for me, it wasn't necessarily a big deal.
I don't think it was the plan to go to college and get married. I mean, that wasn't.
That wasn't a plan, but I wasn't shying away from it either. I wasn't like, oh no, I'm definitely not gonna get married in college. I'm definitely not gonna find a husband in college. It was like, and then when I found you or we met, it's like you was the right one, and I think we both felt like that because we figured something. Like I didn't want to. My different experiences and knowing how young men were, I did not want to lose a thing. I didn't want to lose you. So it was like,
hey,
nah.
Say that again. What you say? What?
I didn't want to lose you.
Huh? What? Okay.
So it was like either. It was kind of like it was like either now or never.
But okay, well, since you mentioned that, because we had some spells, some breakups, right? We
not on the cause of me.
Okay, but I'm just
never on the cause of me.
True, but I'm mentioning very high standard. I'm mentioning that because you said you didn't want to lose me.
No, I remember one time.
But I felt the same. So
I'm an energetic. I remember one time because I want to share this interesting detail. Yes, I think I was head over heels for you. I think one time we broke up. I was like, no, I can't do without him. Like, oh, and needless to say, when I got with you, I think this is an intricate detail of our relationship. When I got with you, I was so serious about you because we were talking about seriousness in it. I deleted every guy's number on my phone, and these were just guy friends. But I did not want him to think for a second that I was not serious about him. I had nothing but females in my phone. Probably my one person, two people, my nephew and my godbrother, maybe, and my daddy. But other than that, that's how
I remember. But that's a part of that commitment that I mentioned. So yes, I remember you did that. You deleted every person. And I guess in hindsight, it was just the seriousness of just what you saw in me, and then me seeing that really kind of solidified like this person has good qualities. We're both into God, as you said at the time, but this person's really committed. So like that was very. It caught my attention. I can see where your heart is, and so like how you said you didn't want to lose me. I mean that was my mentality too. Like Because one of the things that a person would want with being serious with someone is someone that they can trust. And so, like, for me, it's like, man, this in several different ways, you really showed me where your heart was, and meaning that in such a way that really you had a heart towards me, and that was very a lot of words, attractive, catching, valuable. So with that being said, like, the consideration of marriage wasn't far-fetched. Now it happened pretty
quickly. Not for me, because I was head over heels.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, just seeing.
When I love hard.
Seeing that in you, yeah, marriage is definitely becomes into the conversation. And so I know, just moving forward, I remember having a conversation with my pastor at the time about, we'll use the term being called into ministry. So I spoke with him about that, and our mindset was always wanting to be right before God, and so the Bible says that marriage is honorable. So that we use the term being called into ministry, having that conversation with my pastor, having a girlfriend at the time. Okay, let's really do this thing completely right. Yeah, that
didn't want to live in sin, because a lot of people would ask, well, why so soon? And we already knew. Let me say that we already knew that we wanted to get married. So with the limitations that we knew during that time, we knew we wanted to be right before God, and we would hear certain scriptures, that we couldn't live in fornication, and we couldn't, sin before God. So we knew we always had a heart for God. And I think it's good to highlight that, because sometimes people get married for the wrong reasons. We genuinely love one another. We just didn't all the time go about it the best way, but we knew that we wasn't gonna lift up our eyes in hell, or that we were gonna be found right before God. So
right, that was a compelling force. We had a love for one another, but had a love for God as well. So just want to do things right. So that expedited or kind of speeded things up quite a bit. And so just going into that, like I mentioned, special person. She has a love for God, committed to me. And so, yeah, we move forward with
the engagement.
Yeah, so
I was at my uncle's house, and if I call him my uncle, he's like my uncle. And so we were having a church at his house and doing the message.
Oh, I'm sorry. Before we get to the engagement, because I have to mention, and I mentioned this to you before, but all throughout the years, just to add to you being special, and then our love for God, because we would have conversations about doing things right. And so, like, there were conversations that we had, and I can't remember what was said, but I can just remember vividly, like, I would say, God would use you, or I would see your heart towards him, and you would say certain things of what you needed to do, what we needed to do in order for us to be pleasing to God. So, like, that was another thing that caught my attention, because it just really showed your heart towards God. So leading to, can this truly be a person, that I would marry? Yes, because I know my thought at the time, I know what she's saying. I believe, like, she's being influenced by God to say it. So, like, that was something that caught my attention as well. Yeah. Okay, so you were talking about the engagement.
Yeah, so leading up to the engagement, we were at a friend of the family's house, at my what I consider my uncle's house, and we were having church at his home. And so I'm listening to the message. The message is really good, but I keep having these visions of him proposing to me. So I'm shaking it off, right? Because I didn't want to give up hope, or I was like, well, what if it doesn't happen today? It was just on my mind that day, like really strongly, right? And so come to find out, he surprises me and texts me and say, hey, where are you? So I sent him an address. I'm coming down. And I was like, you coming down here? So then I was like, oh my God, how am I going to react if it doesn't happen today? I just knew, like, why would you want to come all the way down here? At the time, matter of fact, he was in Boca. That's why I say, that's what I mean by coming down. I think I was in Friendswood at the time, and he showed up. And so how the engagement happened, he did the traditional getting down on one knee. And you did it so, it was very awkward. He did it so quiet, like everybody was in the kitchen. So we had my daddy. Was my mom there? I don't think so. So we had my dad, my uncle. No, I think she was there. Yep, she wasn't. Anyway, so we had everybody over, eating and fixing barbecue and crawfish. And so I guess he was like, oh, I gotta get something, or he dropped something. So he was like, can you fix my plate? And so I'm fixing his plate. And then he gets back up, like, on his knee with the ring. And I'm like, oh my God. He's like, don't cry, don't cry. I'm like, it's awkward. What do you mean? Don't cry. Are you gonna tell me not to cry? Like, I'm just shocked. I'm like, oh my God, this is what I seen. And so my daddy, he's looking at it, he's witnessing. So he's like, do it again. Hold on, everybody. Like, he's trying to get everybody to focus on this, like, but it wasn't going like that. I guess in his mind, he did it on the cool. I don't know. Was that out of shyness or
just did it? I mean,
just did it. So I was like, normally, I guess when you have a proposal, you kind of ask for the attention of everyone or what have you, and you didn't do it.
So this was in 2007 or 6. I think it was 7, early 7. I'm not mistaken. So this was before social media on a mass scale. So
I think people still did the traditional. No, people still did the traditional.
So seeing all of these proposals, I did not have no proposal pool bank to pull from.
No. Oh, he didn't. He may have not seen anybody do it like that.
Right. I mean, so I know people would kneel, so you just kneel and propose. But this whole, hello, everybody, I need to catch everybody's attention.
Oh, well,
I mean,
that just wasn't his way of doing it, and that's fine. But it was so awkward and funny and exciting all at the same time. And I remember, I was just shocked. I kept looking at my ring. I got a bigger ring now, y'all. It's ring number 3, right? 3. And so we're gonna talk about what happened to the ring before this one. But I kept looking at it like, oh my God, this is real. I'm just gonna be a wife. Like, and I think we had planned on doing it initially, probably a little after college. But we went ahead and said, let's do it. And I think financially, even though we were broke, we didn't have any money. But I think, it was just smarter for us, I think, on my side, financially, when it comes to, student aid and stuff like that. There was a lot of other factors that played into that.
Financial positions have a big wedding, and I believe initially we was pushing it off, but then decided to do it sooner. Then we're just gonna go to the courthouse, get a certificate or whatnot. But family decided, oh no, if you're gonna get married, you gotta have a wedding, and so he ended up having a small wedding.
And my extended family, I got married. They kept asking me, "Are you pregnant? Are you pregnant?" I'm like, "No, I don't believe in getting married just because I'm pregnant." So they ended up finding out 9 months later I wasn't. Because I think we had children 4 years.
Oh, it was way after.
Way after. So.
But I think you said during the wedding at some point you had some cold feet.
No, I didn't. I didn't have cold feet. don't listen to him. Don't tell the people that I did not have cold feet. What happened was everything was happening so fast. Like I said, we were young. We got married we were going into our junior year because we were sophomores, so we were sophomores. And so everything happened so fast. And so when the doors swung open, I was like, oh my God, I'm about to sign a contract, like a marriage license. There's no turning away. There's no,
Sounds like cold feet.
that is not cold feet. I was not thinking about running away or no, I can't do this. It was just surreal. Like it's like when you finally, and we'll get into that mothers another time. Like when you have a baby, you've been waiting to get pregnant. That was my testimony. You've been waiting to have this baby this whole time. And it's like, oh my God, when you finally have it, you're like, oh my God, I'm a mother, I have to take this baby home. Mm-hmm. So you still love that baby, you still love that moment, you still want to live in that moment, but it's like, oh my God, this is happening. This is no longer I wish this would be. This is. So no. For the record, let's set the record straight. I did not have COVID.
Okay, so maybe the terminology is different. But he literally said that the other day. He had some cold feet.
No, I did not. Why are you telling the people that? It's not right.
You was nervous or something?
No.
You used the term cold feet.
Well, like I said, it's just like becoming a new mother. So it's not like you're running. I think that cold feet is like, no, I can't do it. Like you freak out. So mine wasn't freaking out. It was coming into the reality of, because I had no plans for divorce. Some people don't get cold feet. It's nothing to them because it's like, well, if I don't like it, I'm going to just get out of it. So, yeah, that's not one, which I have one. We'll talk about that later. Our non-negotiables on another podcast. Yeah, but no, besides my one non-negotiable, it wasn't like that. No. It was like, I knew it was going to be forever. To death do you part, through sickness and health, all of that.
Yeah. Well, I guess I was just a little different in that. All of the considerations and thought process was already done. So walking down the aisle, come on down.
I counted the cost.
Beautiful.
I did
this is
too.
it.
Don't get me wrong. I was excited to call you my husband, to be Mrs. Taylor, to like.
It's amazing because I remember it felt funny. This is my wife. Like, man, yeah. I have a wife. But hindsight, 19 years later, it's so normal now. But I do remember, like, yeah, I have a wife. Like, saying that just felt, well, I mean, because it was something new, something different. Yeah. But now, yeah.
Oh, now it's like,
wife, 2 kids.
Yeah, we feel like 2 big kids. Sometimes, yeah, we'll be 40 this year, by the way. Sometimes we still act like, I don't know, it don't feel like it's 20 years. It kind of almost feel like yesterday. It just don't feel like it. 19 years is a long time. It feels like
it's been
it does not feel like that to me. I mean, it's been a long time.
Well, I guess I see what you're saying. To say 20 years, like that, man, 20 years, that's 2 decades. And maybe compared to how we feel and how we
y'all,
are.
in real life, kids, stop with the noise.
Just where we are today, because I mean, we're coming up on 40, and I guess when I was 20, I would consider that to be old. But now that I'm approaching 40, I still feel pretty vibrant.
No,
but just saying that to say no.
I'm talking about the relationship. I'm talking about how I feel as an individual.
Well, no, you said it didn't feel like it's been that long, but it's been some time. But
I think now in our marriage, now we're getting to the peak of I don't know, maybe because we're hitting up on 40. I don't know. Tell me how y'all feel in the comments. Those who are in their 40s or late 30s married. I feel like now, I don't know. Starting to feel a little bit more grown. It's weird. Like, I don't know, maybe because I heard somebody said that 40 is fun. Like, I think we're getting to the peak where, like,
I
Yeah,
definitely,
it's to have some fun.
I definitely will agree with that.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? I can't quite explain it, but
fun
yeah.
40s.
The rest is history. Yeah, but set that for the record again. I did not have cold feet. Set that for the record again. But yeah, I would love to have another wedding, maybe to do the experience all over again. Yeah, we talked about a 20th maybe anniversary party or something to solidify. I don't know how long we've been married.
Yeah, okay.
You
Yeah,
really spending on a vacation though.
yes. Okay. So that is us. So we have some more videos coming out, right? Okay. So I believe we started on what hinders people from getting married. So as far as some of the fears, and one of which being the fear of divorce. So we're going to kind of start unpacking some of these um, items of why people have these fears. Divorce is the first one, and we'll dive into some more. But definitely just wanted to come. Our whole premise of this is we love marriage. I mean, just simply put, and we'll go into that more of why. But for sure, after 20 years, I can say that the love today is stronger than the love back then because of the things that we've encountered. And so that's what one of the things that makes it really beautiful is when you endure. And so,
Because it's a fairy tale. We have our fairy tale moments, but it's also moments where you learn to grow and mature with certain things and in certain areas. And so I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but as you said before, we're going to unpack more of that. We're going to start off with the series talking about just
what's the
fears.
first part? Yeah, just the fears of why people decide not to.
Yeah,
There's different reasons, but one of them is the fear of divorce, and we're going to kind of unpack that. And even where we are today, we're still growing as a marriage. But one of the things that help is, you have to be reflective of where you came from, and you have to magnify your victories and the things that you have overcame to get to this point. And then also, even rehearsing it with others can help us as well. And so, our heart is to be able to help others, but even with helping others, we're helping ourselves, and just to be able to help maintain this covenant relationship that God has established between a husband and a wife that is a reflection of Christ in the church. So we're gonna dive into more of that, but the purpose of this video was to let you all in on who are we, and we have more coming to you.
So we're going to ask that you follow our platforms. We do have an update. We're going to end out in prayer. I've been led to do that. So he doesn't know, but God just put that on my heart. I think it's always good for when we do these sessions and you can pray along with us. But follow us on our platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. You may see it as TaylorMade.Couples. We've changed it because we do not promote boyfriend and girlfriend and all that relationship. And we'll talk about that more because it's not that we're against courting to marry. But yeah, we'll talk about that more and maybe even talk about why we believe in that according to scripture. But we're going to, the title or our platform will be changed to, and some of those are already changed, to TaylorMade.Marriage. Again, that's TaylorMade.Marriage. So follow us on those platforms. Even begin to share, have some watch parties. So we'll be coming to you guys really soon with the fear, why people, are afraid to enter marriage with our first topic being fear of divorce. So